Ancient giant sea monsters, legends and myths. In ancient times, sailors and civilizations have feared the deep ocean, believing it to be home to massive, terrifying sea monsters. These creatures were often described as enormous serpents, dragons, or multi-limbed beasts that could destroy ships and swallow men whole. Here are some of the most legendary giant sea monsters from ancient history. 1. Kraken, Norse mythology, Scandinavian folklore. A colossal squid-like creature said to dwell in the waters near Norway and Greenland. Described as having huge tentacles, capable of wrapping around entire ships and pulling them into the depths. Some tales say the Kraken could create massive whirlpools just by diving beneath the water. Likely inspired by giant squids, which can grow over 40 feet long. 2. Leviathan, biblical and Jewish mythology. A massive sea serpent or dragon described in the Hebrew Bible, Book of Job, Psalms, Isaiah. Said to have impenetrable scales and could breathe fire and smoke. Some myths suggest that God killed Leviathan to prevent it from causing chaos. Symbolized the uncontrollable power of the sea. 3. Cetus, Greek mythology. A giant sea dragon sent by Poseidon to punish King Cepheus of Ethiopia. Described as having massive jaws, fins, and scales, capable of swallowing ships whole. The hero Perseus famously slayed Cetus to save Princess Andromeda. Inspired the constellation Cetus, still recognized in the night sky today. 4. Scylla and Charybdis, Greek mythology. The Odyssey. Scylla, a terrifying six-headed sea monster with serpentine necks, lurking in a rocky cave. Attacked passing ships, snatching and devouring sailors. Charybdis, a gigantic whirlpool that sucked ships under, destroying them completely. The two monsters guarded a narrow strait, forcing sailors to risk either being devoured by Scylla or sucked into Charybdis. Based on real dangers sailors faced in the Mediterranean, such as whirlpools and hidden reefs. 5. Umebozu, Japanese mythology. A massive, shadowy sea spirit said to appear during storms. Often described as a black, featureless giant rising from the ocean. Legend says it capsized ships and drowned sailors if they disrespected the sea. Possibly inspired by real deep-sea creatures or optical illusions at sea. 6. Aspidocolone, medieval European mythology. A gigantic sea turtle or whale, often mistaken for an island. Sailors would unknowingly land on its back, only for the island to sink and drown them. Some versions say it could breathe fire or cause massive waves. Likely inspired by whales and large sea turtles, seen by sailors. 7. Bakunawa, Philippine mythology. A giant sea serpent or dragon said to swallow the moon, causing eclipses. Described as having a long, snake-like body, glowing eyes, and massive fangs. Ancient Filipinos believed it lived in the sea and would rise to devour the moon or sun. To scare it away, people would bang drums and make loud noises. Did these monsters really exist? Many of these ancient sea monster myths were likely inspired by real creatures, such as giant squids and colossal squids, basis for Kraken legends. Whales and megalodon, prehistoric shark, possibly inspired Leviathan and Cetus stories. Whirlpools and storms could have led to the myths of Charybdis and Umebozu. Oarfish and deep-sea serpents, rarely seen by humans, these massive fish may have fueled sea serpent myths. Ancient civilizations told stories of giant sea monsters to explain the terrifying, unknown dangers of the ocean. Though many were myths, some could have been based on real creatures that amazed and frightened sailors. Even today, the deep sea is largely unexplored, and who knows, maybe some mysteries still lurk beneath the waves.